Taylor Swift cannot be happy about this article dropping on Thanksgiving, saying that new unsealed court documents allege that she and Hugh Jackman were allegedly witness to Ryan Reynolds confronting and berating Justin Baldoni. According to the documents, Justin Baldoni was so embarrassed he even shed tears and apologized. Imagine Ryan Reynolds just berating him in front of everyone, in front of all these people, including a Sony exec too, allegedly. Okay, let's remember that this alleged incident took place in April of 2023 in Blake and Ryan's New York apartment. And Taylor Swift's source, aka her PR, said that Taylor Swift came to Blake's apartment at the time Blake told her to, not knowing anyone else would be there. In other words, Taylor had no idea there was a meeting going on with Justin. I don't know if we buy that. Do we buy that? So the new unsealed doc said, the message could not have been clearer. Baldoni was not just dealing with Lively, he was also facing Lively's dragons, two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world who were not afraid to make things very difficult for him. So let's remember, back in February, Taylor said that she felt used and manipulated and that Blake was just using her and calling her her dragon and that she was so innocent, right? And this source also said that Justin was about to leave after a 2-hour berating meeting. As Taylor was walking in, she was introduced to him for the first time. And of course, Taylor Swift is saying that Blake manipulated the timing of the meeting with Justin so that Taylor would arrive right before he left. And supposedly all Taylor Swift said to Justin was how excited she was to see the movie because he was her friend's boss. Doesn't this sound like she's super innocent and like just an innocent lamb in the whole situation? Let's not forget how close these two were at the time. Remember how Blake called Taylor her dragon? Here's a text to Justin Baldoni from Blake calling Taylor Swift her dragon. It says, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better. Because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I promise you. So Blake was referring to herself as Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, and Taylor and Ryan were her protective dragons. Baldoni also claimed in his complaint that when he was invited to Lively and Reynolds' New York penthouse, a, quote, famously close friend was also present. Taylor Swift? So these specific allegations from the unsealed documents are coming from a timeline of events sent from Wayfarer Studios co-founder Jamie Heath's team to Baldoni's publicist over email in July 2024. Taylor Swift is looking mighty, mighty guilty now that the unsealed records show that she was there when Ryan Reynolds was bullying and berating Justin Baldoni. Taylor Swift is a woman who is anti-bully. She is an advocate for kindness. She is an advocate for not getting your work stolen or having rights to your work, right? With her whole master's shenanigans. Yet she was there helping Blake and Ryan, in my opinion, when she was in that apartment when Ryan was bullying and berating Justin Baldoni. I found an interesting quote about bullying from Taylor Swift to one of her fans, and let's look at it and listen to it because it sounds very hypocritical to me. It says, bullying. This isn't a high school thing or an age thing. It's a people thing, a life thing. It doesn't stop. It doesn't end or change. People cut other people down for entertainment, amusement, out of jealousy because of something broken inside them, or for no reason at all. That's interesting. So what was the reason? What was the real reason why you were there with Ryan Reynolds when he was going in on Justin Baldoni? And yes, I said that I think that they were all bullying Justin Baldoni. This is my opinion. This is all alleged, so don't even think about coming for me again, okay? Also, let's not forget that Taylor Swift's rep, back when all this shenanigans started, came out and said, quote, Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release, and was traveling around the globe during the 23 and 24, headlining the biggest tour in history. I don't think it was the biggest tour in history. Let's talk about Michael Jackson. Okay, but we won't even go there right now. Also, the rep said, the connection Taylor had to this film was permitting the use of one song, My Tears Ricochet. Whose tears are ricocheting now, Taylor Swift? Also, the rep added, saying that Swift's name was being used to, quote, draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case. Well, how about the fact that you were there, Taylor Swift? What do you have to say about that? Oh, and Hugh Jackman too, you make me sick. All of these bullies. If you haven't seen my video about how they all wore those cardigans and they were mocking Justin and his wife, it's pinned on the top of my page. Go check it out. But there are so many instances of bullying that I have found all these people do, and it makes me absolutely sick because Justin Baldoni was just trying to make a movie about DV, and all these people are just trying to profit, and when they can't profit, they want to run away and not be involved with their name in any way associated with this. And I think that's what Taylor Swift is doing, okay? She was all there. She was in the apartment when it suited her and it suited her friend, but now she is nowhere to be found, allegedly, if they're really not friends anymore. And you guys know what I really think about that. Now, all this stuff that we've been thinking about Taylor Swift, that she's this innocent lamb, it's all coming to light. And there's more unsealed documents that will be released. Again, everything I am saying is alleged and in my opinion, and it is in my opinion that they are all disgusting bullies. Let me know what you guys think about Taylor Swift now. So Taylor Swift telling Blake Lively, the fans don't know what they want until you give it to them. That's a famous quote that was by Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs said, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. Now, to compare Blake Lively to somebody like Steve Jobs, a genius, or the fact that Taylor Swift just kind of stole this line from somebody, allegedly, just like how she does with a lot of her lyrics and her music, I'm not surprised. But it does remind me that her rep came out and said that she had absolutely nothing to do with this movie. Now, all of this is alleged, right? Because it's come out in the sealed documents that were unsealed. And the fact that Taylor Swift is being so exposed right now in so many ways is so telling. And if anyone thinks that these two were not in cahoots, I don't know how much more proof you need. More and more information is going to come out as more documents are unsealed for this case, and you'll see that these two are birds of a feather. Because I'm sorry, the fact that Taylor Swift was there in the room when Ryan Reynolds was going ham on Justin Baldoni, that speaks volumes. And there's no way that anyone can convince me that she didn't know about it before entering. There's no way that Blake or Ryan had not discussed it with her before. There's no way that Hugh Jackman didn't know. There's no way. I don't know. It's going to take a lot for me to be convinced. And I'll be the first person to say I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. So let's see how this unfolds, because I cannot wait for more exposure and more documents and audio to be unsealed. And again, everything I'm saying is alleged and in my opinion, so that's that. Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and Colleen Hoover all being exposed by a black man, Jamie Heath. It's his timeline that has been unsealed in the court documents. And let's just think about the significance of that, because Jamie Heath is the guy whose wife had a beautiful home birth. And when Justin Baldoni showed Blake Lively this video, she said that it was corn with a P. So think about the big FU that this is to Blake, Colleen, Taylor, and the rest of the gang, the rest of the bullies. Now, everything I'm saying is alleged, okay? But the sweet, sweet irony of it is so gratifying. I just want to take a second and recognize the fact that it's Jamie Heath's timeline that is the downfall of these three powerful white women: Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, Colleen Hoover, and more. Yes, they've already been smearing themselves up the hoo-ha this whole time. But the release timing is even amazing. And we've all been on Judge Lyman's, we've all been upset. Oh, why did he order Jamie Heath's wife's beautiful birth video to be handed over? Why is he put in that order? But let's not forget, that same judge just unsealed these documents on Thanksgiving. Coincidence? I don't know. I think it's pretty awesome and badass, and I just had to point it out. It's all coming together. And you know what? I think Brian Friedman has a lot more bombs to drop, and they're coming, because that's his style. I have a friend who used to work for him, and she told me, she's like, you just wait as it gets closer and closer to March. He's just going to be dropping. You guys just wait. Wow. So much is happening, and so much more is going to be unsealed. Wow. You go, Jamie Heath. This timeline, chef's kiss. Did Blake Lively get her complaint from Colleen Hoover's book? Are you kidding me right now? This has got to take the cake, because we know that Blake Lively doesn't have an original bone in her body, but let's look at this real quick. His arms slip around my waist and he pulls me to him, burying his face in my neck. You smell so good, he says. Do we remember her complaint? Does this sound familiar? We know that Blake Lively loves to steal and scheme just like her evil husband, in my opinion, allegedly. But this? Are you for real right now? I can't even. We know she didn't read the book. But did she? I mean, what is happening? I am flabbergasted because, I mean, of course, this whole thing is horrendous and not funny. But this takes the cake. I saw this posted in my comments, this image. Thank you for sending this to me. At first, I thought this was a Blake Lively SEO manipulation with Sydney Sweeney, but no, Sydney Sweeney's going for the jugular on Blake. So it all started with this article from Daily Mail. Blake Lively's PR, Leslie Sloan, and them must be so upset because this article talks about how even though Sydney Sweeney's movie flopped, Sydney Sweeney came out and knew how to speak about DV versus Blake didn't. You know, this article ruffled up Big Bird's feathers. So apparently survivors and advocates say that Sydney Sweeney got that one thing right. She knew how to talk about DV. And despite a commercial fail, the movie is boasting a staggering 98% on Popcorn Meter. The article goes on to compare Blake, and she must be livid reading this, and her PR must be like scrambling, right? It says, by comparison, Blake Lively's promotion tour for It Ends With Us, also a story rooted in DV, drew intense criticism for what viewers perceived it as tone-deaf focus on aesthetics, fashion, all that extra nonsense, right? So then Mandatory comes out the next day on November 26th with this article, again, talking about the whole thing. Okay, apparently both of these girls, Sydney and Blake, didn't do an amazing acting job, even though Blake's movie did better in the box office. But Sydney did a really good job actually talking about DV and how the character was suffering abuse. And then they talk about how Blake, when she was promoting it, she got bashed during the marketing because she was accused of being, quote, tone deaf and shallow. And they also criticized her for prioritizing aesthetics, fashion, and lightheartedness over the story's core theme of DV. Okay, so then it gets juicier because there's an assistant professor of law, and she's in the article talking about the stark differences between Christie and It Ends With Us marketing, okay? So she says that in It Ends With Us, the campaign focused on beauty and superficiality, while Christie's campaign highlighted the hard, ugly things that Christie went through. And Christie's promotion could have been framed as a beautiful actress transforms herself, but instead Sweeney consistently talks about telling Martin's actual story. And she said it was refreshing that a beautiful actress was doing this. So this professor at law goes on to bash the movie with Ends With Us. She says that DV is not about pretty girls getting occasionally beat up by men and tempers, which is the story that It Ends With Us told. She says It Ends With Us perpetuated the myth that victims can just decide one day to leave. She says that's not how DV works. Christie's story is real. It ends with us is flowery fiction. Ouch. That must hurt. For so many people. Not just Blake's people, but Justin's people too. Wayfair and everyone. Oh, the PR people must be upset. Not to mention our favorite gal, Colleen Hoover.
And it was also fun at the after party to see a lot of like 10-year-old girls be like, Alice, hi, and like, you know, they were having their crushes.
Right. The fuck was that?
Not just 10-year-old girls. I mean, girls in many different age groups.
And probably some men as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the only ones he was responding to, oddly.
The fuck was that?
No, I'm joking. He's got a lovely wife and a beautiful little baby girl, but we probably shouldn't talk about that because we want people to only look at him for his sexy, sweaty, steamy body.
What the fuck was that?
It's really like emotional scene, and then he comes out like slow motion, like covered in steam and like nipple hair. Positive looseness, not like a hussy looseness. But maybe a hussy looseness too. Hey, I don't know who your grandmas are boning.
Hi, Blake.
Hello.
Congratulations on your new bundle of joy.
Thank you.
You talked about
Is that him? Is he my new bundle of joy?
So cute. You can hold him in your arms.
What the fuck was that?